Hello, welcome to the Ruminating Reverends series. Unfortunately, due to illness, we're unable to bring you the latest episode of Ruminating Reverends for the time being. But for now, I am joined by Graeme Lamb, and I'm going to be speaking to him a little bit about his role in the church. So, would you like to explain your role and what it is that you involve?
Yeah, it's an interesting one actually. It's very different from Ron's role in many ways. Similar in some ways, but I'm what's called a self-supporting minister, which means this isn't my job. So what I do here, although I am ordained, although I'm still a priest in the Church of England, this isn't my job. I am, like many other people, in a volunteer role really. So I sort of give up as much time as I can. From that point of view. When myself and Ron talked about the role originally, I think the phrase Ron used was Sunday priest, which basically means that the main bulk of my role is just in services and around services on a Sunday. I still do the normal things. I lead, I preach, I preside. I can do baptisms, funerals and weddings. I don't tend to because of time, just because I've got my extra work outside. So within that, I probably give about, on average, I'd say, probably around about 5 or 6 hours a week. Probably about 2/3 of that is on a Sunday. And then I also spend some time in the warm hub that we have here at Christchurch on a Wednesday and Thursday morning, just meeting with people, chatting with people, keeping in touch with pastoral things. And occasionally going to meetings, but work quite often means I can't.
So you talked a bit about the volunteering side of your role.
Yeah.
What would you say is the thing that you look forward to in a week at Christchurch?
It varies from week to week. You look forward to whatever you've got going on to a certain extent. But the thing, I suppose the way of reframing that question is, what's the thing I most enjoy, I suppose. Probably the occasions that I preside at communion. Whether it's a 9 o'clock or a 10:45, presiding at communion is something that's always special to a priest. It's something that sort of in the Church of England only we can do, and I don't sort of mean specialness in that way, but it is just something special to preside and say those words and lead people in communion. It is always something good.
So moving on from that a little bit, if you weren't a curate, what would you be?
Is this like one of those anything in the world dream questions? What would I want to be, or just what would I be if I weren't a curate?
What's your interpretation?
Well, in some ways, I mean, if I weren't a curate, I'd still be doing what I'm doing to a certain extent, which is, running my own business and building that. That's sort of outside of church. That's my main thing. That's where most of my time and most of my energy goes. I suppose, if I weren't a curate, if I reframed that in a different way, which is there another job in the church that I'd like to do, which is another way of looking at it. I don't know, I'd possibly quite like to be a school chaplain. I wanted to be a Navy chaplain when I was younger, but those days are gone and past. But, a chaplain somewhere potentially.
So we've talked about the positives. What's the biggest challenge you face as a curate?
The biggest challenge is wanting to do more and not being able to, definitely, because having come from stipendiary ministry, where it's not only just your full-time job, it's your life. It's a 6-7 day a week life from that point of view. Coming back into ministry, but only doing 5 or 6 hours a week, it's difficult. I'd like to be able to do more, but practically, because of the nature of my life in terms of work, but also my life in terms of health, there are limits on what I can do. So it's understanding that I have to live, work, and be a priest within those limits.
And then the final question is, do you enjoy what you do?
Yes, I do. No, I do. It's been lovely to be able to come back to it, actually. Having sort of been away from being in ministry, you don't stop being a priest when you stop being a minister in the church, but that's sort of very much in the background. But being able to come back to being a priest and sort of operate in that way, even if it is in a different way, even if it is in a limited way, that's the bit I enjoy the most, I think.
So that's all the questions that I have for now. Ruminating Reverends will be back for its June episode. Hopefully it'll be a June episode. If not, then we'll have a double July episode. We'll be continuing as we usually do. As always, I like to say if you've got any subjects that you'd like us to focus on, we have got some in mind for the next few, but if you'd like us to consider something, then please let us know, either in the comments or contact one of us. And that's everything for now. We'll see you soon.